So I just watched a brand new Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg starring film known as Uncharted. It is, of course, a video game adaptation, and I'm going to give you my full non-spoiler review, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. But before we start out today's video, I do want to ask you guys to please comment down below after the video and let me know your thoughts on what I had to say, whether you agree, disagree, have you seen the film, whatever it is. Please let me know in the comment section down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bells. That way you can be notified future content on the channel. My name is Isaac, and I'm the host of your multiverse of movies. So Uncharted. Now, let me make something clear. I've played very little of one of the games that I can't remember. My friends are big fans of Uncharted, and I've yet to ever fully play a game, but I have a similar basis to what they are. I'm a big fan of these adventure kind of journey-like movies. You know, I love Jumanji, Indiana Jones, and the Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my favorite films of all time. Obviously, the other Indiana Jones movies I love. There's a lot of these adventure movies I love, so this is my cup of tea. But with video game movies, I've never had a good reputation because the only video game movies I've actually enjoyed are Detective Pikachu and the brand new Mortal Kombat movie and the first Tomb Raider. Those are like the only video game movies I like. I don't even like that Sonic movie that came out. I know a lot of people love it, and one of my most unpopular opinions is I didn't hate it, but I just didn't like it. Yeah, I'm excited for it for the sequel though. But Uncharted. So I'm excited for Tom Holland. I'm excited for Mark Wahlberg. Both great actors, especially Tom Holland, who keeps proving to me how talented of an actor he is. And he was just recently in Spider-Man: No Way Home. Obviously, you know, one of the most historical films of all time. But what are my thoughts on the movie? Now, it's a mixed bag. Let me get into the good. First of all, it's a fun adventure film. Let's say you're a parent or you want to take your kids out. This is definitely a movie you can go take them to. It's a fun adventure film. It's a movie that kind of understands what it wants to be. You know, it's just adventure. They're just trying to, you know, have fun with it. It looks like clearly Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg had a lot of fun filming this movie. Antonio Banderas was great in it. You know, everyone was, you know, they did what they had to do. It was fun. The comedy's hilarious. Look, I enjoyed the movie. I wouldn't say it's a movie I love, but I quite enjoyed it. It's enough for what I wanted it to be, which is an adventure flick. I will say there are moments in this movie where I feel like they were just trying way too hard to be like the next Indiana Jones. And I get it. Look, Indiana Jones is a far superior film to me, at least personally, because I love those movies. But Uncharted, to me, it's like it wanted to be that, but didn't really know how to be that. So this movie does at points feel like a ripoff to Indiana Jones. But overall, I enjoyed the film. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was, you know, the comedy's great. Tom Holland's great in it. But now let me get to the negatives. Now the negatives are this movie is too silly. There are moments in this movie where something happens, and you're just there wondering, how? The movie takes itself way too silly. It's like it thinks. It's kind of like Fast and Furious 9, where it felt like they thought that the audience was too dumb to understand certain concepts, so they just went for it. And there are moments where stuff like this happens in the movie. You know, typically in some movies you'll enjoy it because you understand, you know, they're stupid, they're silly. But in this movie it felt more like, oh, really? That's what we're going to do? And one of the things I'm shocked that I'm about to say, but Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland didn't really have that great chemistry. You know, I watched the trailers, you know, with Sully and Nathan Drake, and you would assume that the one thing they would at least have, even if you aren't excited for this movie, is that this movie would have the chemistry between the two main characters. But when they come to meet, it feels a little random. When they are together, it feels random. Things in this movie happen that are random, which is what I was trying to say earlier when I said this movie takes itself way too, you know, it thinks it's way too silly. It's like kind of like Book of Boba Fett, which I have a shirt right here. Book of Boba Fett took itself a little too silly at sometimes, and this movie has that same approach where it just feels like there are scenes that just feel so out of place for a story like this. And it has, you know, it's just There are moments like that, but specifically solely Nathan Drake, the two characters, while I like them both individually, when they're together, you don't really feel, it's not all that fun. You're not there like, oh my god, I like seeing. It's like what the Peacemaker series that came out recently. You had Adebayo, you had Murr, you had Hardcore, you had Economist, Peacemaker, Vigilante. They all had good chemistry, and it made the experience much more fun to see them together. But with Nathan Drake and Sully, you never really feel that. You just kind of feel like, oh, decent characters, decent surprise, whatever. But this is that kind of movie you watch once, and then that's kind of it. It's like you don't plan on watching it again. There's, not every movie has to be, a Godfather-esque kind of film. Not every film has to be an Indiana Jones. Not any film has to, like, this movie definitely is an iconic, but hey, I can now put it on the list as my fourth, the fourth movie on the list of video game movies I like. Because I like it. I had fun with it. I'm going to say this. I think it's better than the Sonic movie. Because at least I had a lot more fun with this movie than the Sonic movie. I know it's unpopular opinion, but I just didn't like that movie. I didn't hate it, but I just didn't like it. Although there are things I liked about that movie. But I am excited for Sonic 2. But Uncharted is another decent adaptation for video game movies. Do I think it's better than Tomb Raider, Mortal Kombat reboot, and Detective Pikachu? No. But, hey, it did its job. It did its thing. Probably never going to rewatch this movie, if I'll be honest. But, hey, I'm not here for a masterpiece. I'm here for fun.